part of the country. I think with your support and blessings, sir, we can work together and make things happen in your campus. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. Very nice.
Thank you, sir, for all your motivational words. I'm sure it has given a lot of energy for all the participants to stay in the session and learn from today's lectures.
Sorry, yeah, only one comment I want to give before you start.
Yes,
because
sir.
if you don't, I'm telling the all participants, if you don't come up, if you don't work for yourself, nobody is going to work for you. That's what I think I can give you a very clear statement. We are all visitors. We can only work as a mentor part-time, but you need to build yourself. You need to build your credentials. You need to build your ecosystem. I think KTB is going to work with you. No financials. You are not going to give money to us, but rather we'll bring resources to you. We'll bring money to you, funds to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. So moving ahead, I would like to welcome the Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, and the CEO of Venture Lab, Downtown Venture Labs. It's a great honor to have both of you here together with us. So if you could just spare 10-15 minutes and introduce the participants about today's program and how could they go about maybe being a bio-entrepreneur and incorporating entrepreneurial skills in their daily life. Over to you, sir.
Dr. Kamaruddin will speak first.
Dr. Kamruddin, if you could unmute yourself.
Good morning.
Very good morning, sir. Very good morning.
Dr. Swar is there.
Yes, sir. I'm here, sir. I'm here for next 15 minutes.
From GST days. It's nice again to see you.
Yeah.
Respected VC sir, I'm addressing you also and other participants. Now, Keith and we are partners. We have been partners for a long time, but unfortunately, somehow our honeymoon did not start properly. Somehow or other, we got stuck because of pandemic and other issues. Whenever we started some program, we're about to start something or other happen, but I'm so happy this time it is happening. And I hope this is the real beginning. Now, our VC is very educated on this line, and the region, particularly Assam, is a treasure trove for biotechnology, bioresources here, Agriculture is our mainstay, including tea. From our side, Downtown Venture Lab, we have made a very small step in promoting one or two startups. I would rather say one or two startups because the fund which we are supposed to get from Government of India did not come in proper time. And amongst them, one is an agri startup where we had a sort of a discussion yesterday only about the progress of the startup. Now, you see, this is somewhere where I want Keith to come in and help us so that this startup can have a fresh breath of air, because they have nearly done something, a smart agri-tech system, and they also have a MOU with Government of Sikkim, but unfortunately, because of pandemic, a lot of blockades have come. And for them now, it is a choice between, a very bitter choice between getting more funds and expanding the market. Now, I thought Keith will definitely come in a big way to help them. No doubt we have tried our best to help them, but otherwise, on our own, we have done a little bit of research on mushroom, on paddy cultivation, on rice and other issues, our own department, which Dr. Borwa will be able to say. But on this note, I will not take much because our VC is a very learned man in this field. And I would leave the field to him because there are a lot of other experts also. But I hope this beginning will go forward and create a permanent bond. And as Dr. Swarat said, remarked that resource is not a problem. But here in this case, in our state, I think since the ecosystem has not been built up properly, there has been some issue or other in garnering resources. So once we firm up this tie-up and then we start working together, I hope the region and the state will get a big boost in the biotechnology sector. With this, I welcome once again our participants, and I would request our VC to go ahead and give his valuable advice on this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I would request the Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, to speak a few words.
Namaskar and good morning to you all. It's very heartening to see Dr. Mrityunjay. We have association for quite some time. As he rightly mentioned, when I was in IESSD, like we had his association, IESSD has a incubation center of its own. Then we had some grant from BIRAC under Bionest program. So it's coming up now. The pandemic has affected to some extent, and Dr. Mrityunjay has been quite helpful. We had organized meeting like this in the past there. Now it's we're fortunate that I have changed the place, but the same concept also has doing work together has got into Assam Downtown University. I thought this when about a fortnightly time ago, Mr. Kamaruddin Ahmed and his team came for organization of a virtual roadshow. I thought virtual roadshow, where I thought is this university a perfect situation of being. We are now about 7,000 plus students in university, and most of the faculty is devoted to science, technology, and innovation. So if there would have been a road show, like a lot of banner and that KIT TBI is coming to handhold or work together, there would have been a lot of, it's a very strong campaign, but given the situation, we have here 66 or 70 participants. And definitely, though it is not a roadshow of the type we would have loved to have, but yet 70 participants is quite good number. And then what Dr. Mrityunjay said, that this innovation, entrepreneurship, startup development, or the ecosystem development, the whole process doesn't come overnight. It's not a single day event. And if we all know that this term, even I have to be honest and frank, that for me, we are always academically oriented, do write project, do research, publish a good paper, and you feel very happy. But last 10 years, a decade time, everything had changed. Those participants, just for your information, I just wanted to tell you that about 4 years ago, in a tribal village very near to Guwahati in Rani Development Block, there are about 160 families, and there are only 2 graduates in that village. It's only 20 kilometers from the city. And we wanted to do some village adoption program. And then when we had got the statistics of their resource, livelihood, and everything, we got to know that there is all youths, they're all class 8 dropout. They don't study. I was very curious why this has happened, why they don't do. So one of them gave a beautiful answer. They say that we have 2 graduates of the village, and one has a peon job in a government job office, and there is no job. So what is the big deal? They're going to school, college, getting degree if we don't have a job. So that's the reason why they don't continue after class 8. What is happening in, we all know that our education system and in Northeast compared to rest of the country is very significant, very distinctly visible, that we work, or we go to university, a college for getting a degree, and then a government job or job of any type. Now, last 10 years, this mindset, what Mrityunjay also said, that changing the mindset. So this mindset change has not happened only for the Northeast region or Assam, for the entire country. Like if we look at other country, like China, our neighbor, we all know where they are and where we are. So for a country, there was a necessity of a different kind of ecosystem, a ecosystem of science and technology and innovation that can help these people who go to university do something for themselves, like do innovations, do business, they have their own entrepreneurship, they give job to others rather than seeking job in government organizations or private organization. So they themselves become entrepreneurs. So like doing this, it's, as I said, we have started late, 10 years. So given the time frame, I think there has been what we say the ecosystem. When you talk about ecosystem of this bio-entrepreneurship, it has to have, like, it is linked with strong research of science, technology, innovation, funding, change in the mindset, the education policy. So all these, there are so many factors. Recently, I read an article where they like say that there are few key parameters that can which drive a sound innovation ecosystem, which says that research, investment, education policy, and you have seen the new education policy is linked towards this philosophy of becoming like PhD, postgraduate people becoming entrepreneurs themselves. So the education policy is tweaked that way. We have seen that very clearly. Then the researcher density, we need to have, we also need more researchers, more research. And even we talk about that the human resource of a country must not go there. We must stop, as a country, we must stop brain drain. I also had a statistic in the same reading that India, like Indian origin people abroad, whatever patents of Indian people, the 70% are the non-resident Indians. Only 30% of the patents are resident Indian, whereas the picture for China, 90% of their patents are by resident Chinese, and only 10%, because Chinese are also distributed all across the world. So that means like our brains are going away. Now, this current education policy and changes that is coming is also extremely important. All the brain must stay here to stimulate, to take active role in science, technology, and innovation. So that way, we being a university, and given the new education policy, Assam Downtown University also trying to orient itself towards this culture of innovation ecosystem. We have already, we have a innovation council, University Innovation Council. We have a technology innovation translation center coming up. I think Dr. Borua will give a glimpse of what we are trying to do. And like once we start something on our own, like Mr. Ahmed said, that we have a very little grant from Government of India. I think from DST we have a small grant of 1.2 crores rupees. But question is, grant alone or money alone is not going to make you innovator, is not going to make you bio-entrepreneur. Like what is said, the changing mindset, and like a tuition master cannot get a students 90% marks, 95% marks. So in the part of the student, in the part of that institute, that department, that faculty, so there must be hours that we must do, and that's the first step. Once that happens, I think this kind of the help will come from every side. Even perhaps KIT TBI is eager to help us. Even perhaps they were not aware that even we have an innovation council. We already have a innovation center, which is called TITEC, where some activities have started. So on our own, as like my personal philosophy is that you should not take always the lack of fun as a constraint of doing things. The first step is not lack of fun. First step is the mindset, the mind block, the obstacles in the mind, to remove it. What is going on currently around the country, around the world? So we must keep ourselves abreast with what is happening latest. So this is a time where we talk about exploration of the rich resource of a region through building strong science, technology, innovation environment, where the local people take leadership. So that is what is extremely important. So as far as Assam Down to University is concerned, we'll work in that philosophy. We have already identified some areas where bioentrepreneurship can grow. This region is very rich in medicinal plant resource. We have other bioresources. I can give you the fermented food resource of Northeast India. I know Dr. Mrityunjay has been helping a group in, I think it's Nehu, Northeast University, or that home science college in Tura. Like
So Nehu
yeah,
Tura
Nehu.
college.
So they have, because I was in the task force, so I was in favor of giving that project, and that project perhaps already been sanctioned. So like the fermented food resource of Northeast, there's going to be huge bio-entrepreneurship to this. Many of you may not know that the fermented soybean is consumed in every state of Northeast, and it's very rich. It has a lot of high food value. It has a lot of probiotic organisms. It has fibrinolytic activity. It can dissolve on, when one has heart thrombosis, it can dissolve blood clot. But the research, the way we should have done, is not done. The quinoa is a counterpart, like a fermented soya product, a soybean of the Japan, and they have developed a fibrinolytic enzymes, which is used as a drug globally to inject when a person has blood clotting because of heart stroke, right? So we have not only your soybean fermented food, but we have bamboo fermented bamboo shoot fermentation, and so many other fermented products that where we need research and innovation to find out what are the active ingredient, what are the material which has health beneficial effect, and then develop packaging technology, then marketing strategy, then business. So the other fishery sector is like has a tremendous potential as far as bioentrepreneurship is concerned. Organic farming, Northeast has great potential. So I believe that Assam Down to University and other players and the entire region and the state like can like do wonders in bioentrepreneurship, and the help coming from organization like TBI. I think we're going to make a mark. And what else I can say? Like these are some of the thoughts that came to me spontaneously. Has shared with you. So let us, I think I see the participants, maybe 50% are from Assam Down to University. Please keep that strong urge that individually you want to develop a product, bio-based product, and no matter what it takes, you are going to come up successful and have a, will give one product which can have entrepreneurship. There are enterprises coming to do business with that product. So if that kind of a mindset we develop, work hard, and then once we succeed ourselves with the small initiative we are doing, I think there'll be funding agency will come, because many of you may not know. When a person is doing good work, even in this country is happening, people say a lot of biasness, but that's not true. Like even funding agency are looking for successful people, or successful people, those who through hard work has achieved something. They will be invited, they take some money, do it for us, because those funding agency also want to invest money with people or within institution who are doing good, and if they invest some money with them, they will do better, and then they can also show to ministry that we are doing good. So it's not that there will be biasness, or it's not true. But like what is happening, we must be determined to be good, to do good, and definitely there will be attraction for attraction of the agencies or funding agencies who will come forward to help us. With these words, thank you very much again to KIT TBI for partnering with Assam Downtown University to sensitize, to inspire all those aspiring people of Assam Downtown University to devote themselves in bio-entrepreneurship activity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words. And I'm sure from now on, the students will have a new outlook. Sir, just rightly said, you have mentioned in your talk that funding is not an issue, and we'll cover the funding and various entrepreneurial skill sets that these students and innovators need in our upcoming sessions. Thank you, sir, for joining us today. It was very great to have you with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So moving along with the next session, that will be delivered by Mr. Ashutosh Nanda. The session will be focused on how to protect your business assets and what are the different intellectual properties that are that can be aligned with your product, that can be specific to anything from your region, because Assam is a rich bioeconomic state. So I'm sure these students and innovators will identify new opportunities and new entrepreneurial opportunities to come up in the later time. So I would like to give a brief introduction to everybody about our next speaker. Mr. Ashutosh Nanda possesses more than 18 years of work experience and mostly in patents and research. He's an entrepreneur and IP management professional. He's skilled. I would request others to mute themselves, please. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Maria, thank you for the introduction. Can you please allow me to share the screen?
Yes, sir. So, sir, another thing I would like to tell everybody that Mr. Ashutosh, he is the lead of KIT TC, Bhubaneswar, and I would like everybody to leverage this opportunity and understand as much as you can about IP policies. Sir, just a second. Rajiv, sir, are you there?
Yes, Priya.
Sir, can you allow sir to share his screen? My device is a bit lagging.
Yes, I have done it. So, Ashutosh sir, can you please check it now?
Ashutosh, sir? Sir, are you able to share?
Let me check again. Yes.
Okay, sir. So please go ahead.
Yeah. I hope my screen is visible to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. And let's start with how we can protect our business assets. Business assets generally are of two types. One is called tangible assets and another is intangible assets. So today we will discuss on the protection of intangible asset, that is the intellectual property rights, and major intellectual property rights that generally comes across with any product that you are going to develop are patent, industrial designs, trademark, and copyright. Giving one example to make you understand how all these four pillars of intellectual property can be associated with one particular product. Let the example of this amputation device. This has some technical configuration and particular bending and having some proper elasticity so that it perform a desired function. So this technical improvement is covered under patents. Its aesthetic appearance, which can be enhanced later on, that can be protected under designs. The look and feel can be protected on designs, and the brand name can be protected under trademarks. However, the manual how to use this amputation device or the prosthetic limb, this manual or the video link can be protected under copyright. So for this product, all these four intellectual properties have some importance and have the power of generating money. So we must take care of all this while moving ahead with our business. so that later on they can give us a good amount of return while franchising. Trademark can give you a good return when you are going to franchise with anybody else, or when you are going to market your product with distinction of your product in comparison to other competitors. Similarly, patent will be giving you a protection of 20 years. Copyright will give you the protection that nobody will copy your literature like this. Now coming to more about industrial designs. Industrial designs protects the aesthetic appearance only, means how the product looks like. For example, how this mug looks like. That may generate some money, so that as it is looking good, it can be marketed easily. As this jewelry is looking good, it can be marketed easily. That's why this looking good products, or the aesthetic appearance, or the products having some aesthetic appeal, these products can be protected under industrial designs. Generally, industrial designs are protected class-wise. For example, a wheelchair that can be protected under 3 classes. One is called the furniture class. The chair can be categorized under furniture class, and the chair can be categorized under the medical equipment class. Also, the chair can be categorized under the vehicle or the motorcycle class. Okay, so in every classes, you have to file a different application and register your design, and for each class you have to pay the application fees. For each class, the application fees for the protection is only 1,000 rupees for startups and individuals, and for others it is 4,000 rupees. And there is no maintenance fees associated with protection of the designs. The initial protection period for design is 10 years and can be further extended by another 5 years. Now coming to next mode of intellectual property right is the trademarks. Trademarks is the mark or name of your product which distinguishes your product from other competitors or other products available in the market, so that it will distinguish your product is having certain good qualities in comparison to others. That's why your buyers who are liking your products, they will always demand that I want this particular product, and that's why a brand name is always required to identify your product and differentiate from the competitors. This brand name can be of this differentiation mark can be of different types. It can be a name, it can be a logo, it can be a symbol, it can be a slogan, it can also be a color or shape of the bottle. Even the shape of the product can be a trademark. In addition to this, a sound mark can be a distinguishing mark also. For example, when you are opening your desktop, you must be hearing an Intel sound that is protected by the sound mark of Intel. While watching IPL game, you must be heard that IPL game has a different sound associated with it. So these are the sound marks for the IPL game. So any kind of demarcation or identification of your product and distinguishing your product from other is called as the trademark. There are many kinds of trademark. The major category is the trademark, that is the marks on the good. Another is called as the service mark. The service providers, they are using the mark, then that is called as the service mark. For example, Indian Airlines or Indian Railways, they are not manufacturing any, they are not protecting their product as a manufacturing product of Indian Rail, but they are giving service as an Indian Railway service. That is called as the service mark. And certification mark, any mark that is certifying your product. For example, egg mark, wool mark, ISI mark, these are called as the certification mark. And some collective marks are used by a group of members or group of organizations. For example, group of chartered accountants, they have a certification mark. For example, another category of trademark is called as the well-known marks. The marks which are well-known globally can be protected under this well-known mark. For example, Sony, Nokia, they are all called as the well-known marks. trade names. Trade name is the big form of the trademarks, where the original company having a lot of diversification. For example, Tata having a diversification business of Tata Salt, Tata Tea, Tata Motors, any kind of business. So the name Tata is covered under trade name. However, its subsidiary products or services can be covered under the trademark. Now, the protection for protecting your trademark, you have to fill the form of TMA, trademark application A, and you have to pay 4,500 rupees as a government fees. And initial period of protection is 10 years, but it can be renewed indefinitely as long as the product or service is existing in the market. Okay. Now coming to the next mode of protection, IP is the copyright. Copyright is generally associated with moral right and economic right. Moral right always remain with the author, and the economic right may remain with author, but generally it remains with the publisher. For example, who is publishing your book, he will exploit the commercial benefit or the economic benefit, and he may give royalty to the author. But moral right always remain with the author, not with the publisher. So copyright generally, it is covering literary and dramatic or artistic work, and the protection period is a lifetime of the author plus 60 years. And if there is no author claiming the work, for example, any government work or any posthumous or anonymous work where nobody is claiming that they are the author, in that case, the protection period is 60 years. Apart from this copyright, there are some others related rights are also associated. The related rights associated with copyrights are called as the performer's right, producer's right, and the another form is called as the broadcaster right. Now coming to the next form of IP, that is the most important form of IP, that is called as the patent. Now before understanding what is patent, let's understand what is patent and why patent is required. Generally, what happens when someone or a particular inventor invents something new, he will spend more amount of money, time, labor, in addition to the intellectual capability to develop the particular product or service. So this huge investment is really bothering the inventor. So when he wants to disclose the invention to the public, then he thinks about that there is a fear of competition if he will disclose the invention to the market. So to avoid this, what happens generally, the inventor want to launch the product in the market by keeping the formulation or keeping the method of preparing the product or service it secretly. So this secret mode of launching the product even cannot protect the inventor, because most of the product or services can be reverse engineered and can be duplicated and can be launched by the competitors in the market without doing any research. So in this case, the whole case, what happens, even if you are spending a lot of time in researching, you are prone to lose your huge investment. So to avoid this, a patent system comes into existence. Patent system says, patent system comes into existence, and patent system says when you are going to reveal your technology completely, and the technology is a real and a valid technology in terms of patentability criteria, then the government will grant a patent right to the particular inventor or the applicant. And in that case, what happens, as you are receiving a grant of right, which comprises majorly two important aspects, that you are free to or you are having the monopoly right to practice your invention throughout the nation for a period of 20 years. So these two guarantee, particularly the protection for a period of 20 years and protection throughout the nation, really attracts the investors to invest in your product. And in that case, what happens, when the investor is investing in your product or services, then you have much more confidence to improve the product or process. So again, some further modification or improvement of the product will happen, and the invention cycle continues. While introducing the patent system, you are going to get some investment, but in the adverse condition, you are losing your investment. And also, in addition to getting investment, you are getting a confidence and opportunity to invent around and to improve your product and services, which eventually either decreases the cost of the product or increases the quality of the product by improving the existing product. For example, few years back, with a certain number of features, smartphones are really costlier compared to the same features smartphones that are available in the market. So gradually the cost is going lower because the competition is around, and that's why you are adding technological improvement to the particular product or service. Thereby you are adding some contribution to the growth of the country. Now, as you have understood what is the need of patent system, now you must understand what are the other advantages of patenting. In addition to the 20-year monopoly right to the entire nation, you also have a competitive business advantage over the competitors. No competitor can steal your idea or practice your invention or sell your product without your approval. And you are also going to generate a constant revenue of money by licensing your product or services. You can also access to other technologies via cross licensing. You can combine with any other particular vendor so that their innovations and your innovation can be combined to form a specific product. For example, a particular vendor is manufacturing cap of a bottle and you are manufacturing the bottle. So both, when you do cross licensing, the final product will come out and it will be sold in the market. So in the form of cross licensing, you both can be benefited. And patent can act as both sword and shield, as you are protecting your innovation by protecting by filing patent application and protecting through the patent right. So it is definitely going to act as a shield to protect your innovation. Also, it is going to cut your competitors, as you are the only monopoly right holder who can ride the market. So it is also cutting the competition. That's why it is acting as a sword. It also demonstrates, and as you are disclosing your whole innovation to get the patent right, now you are at a confidence level, or you are not fearing to disclose your innovation at any public forum. So you have filed your application. Now you are feeling confident to disclose your innovation and to demonstrate the viability and value of your innovation to the investors or any public forum or any other presentation or exhibitions, so that it will act as a marketing strategy for launching your product in the market. And also, after getting the grant of your right, you can file an infringement case against the infringers who are intentionally infringing your product or making duplicate of your product, and you can collect damages by filing a litigation case that is called as the infringement case. Now, understanding how the patentability practically works. Now, actually, to file any innovation as a patent, it must satisfy 5 criteria of patentability. First one is that it must be a product or service. Apart from product or service, others cannot be patentable. For example, any new use cannot be a patentable subject matter, but it has to be a product or a service. Okay. Second condition is that it has to be novel globally. It has to be novel globally. Throughout the world, no publication should be there that is similar to your innovation. That's why it is called as the novel. Novel criteria should be fulfilled, and it should be industrially applicable or industrially manufactured. It can be mass manufactured only by manufacturing accidentally or by magic is not patentable. And the Fourth criteria is it should not be obvious. Obvious in the sense there should be some inventive step associated with it. For example, a cap to a pen is already there, but if you are filing a patent application for cap to a pencil, that is not considered as an innovation or not having any inventive step. So any improvement to the design or to the technicality of the cap may be considered as a patentable subject matter, but mere cap of a pen that is attaching to a pencil is called as the obvious. Or something is available in the market in a different color and you are changing the color, that is also considered as a obvious. So obviousness will be decided by the examiner, and if it appears obvious to the examiner, they will argue, and that is called as their objection over your invention. And you have to satisfy by giving certain reply that how your invention is not obvious, and if you win, then patent will be granted. And the last criteria of patentability is that the invention should not fall under non-patentable subject matter. That is, anything that is mentioned in the Patent Act Section 3 and Section 4. If your inventive product or service coming under that category, then that is not patentable. Okay, so Section 3 says any mere discovery. Discovery is not an invention, which is available naturally. Any mere admixture of any product or services, that also not considered as a innovation. Mere admixture is not considered, but add and mixture resulting in a different result, that can be considered as a patentable subject matter. Method of treatment or diagnosis is also not patentable, but product related to patent method of diagnosis, products or devices related to diagnosis and treatment can be patentable, but method is not patentable. Method of agriculture and horticulture is not patentable. However, product and devices related to agriculture and horticulture can be patentable. So there are many things, 16 categories are there mentioned in the Section 3. And Section 4 says inventions related to atomic energy, which can be a threat to the security of India, cannot be also patentable. Now, coming to other criteria, how innovation can be patentable is that these are the 5 conditions of patentability. Now, coming to other aspects, what should be the contents of the patent application. These are the contents of the patent application generally a patent application has. In a provisional patent application, all these may be present, but claims are not required. Claims are only required for the complete specification filing as an ordinary application. And forms and fees I will describe in the later slide. And who can file patent application? You as an inventor, you can file your patent application on your own. If you are working somewhere and that organization has funded you and has given you all the services to invent that particular product or service, then that organization will be considered as an applicant and you will be the inventor. And in that case, the applicant, the university or the organization can file a patent application for you. And if the inventor is deceased or dead, in that case, his legal representative or legal heirs can file a patent application for them. And in addition to that, if you are not comfortable to file your patent application on your own, you can hire a patent agent, and patent agent can file patent application for all the above 3, whatever I have mentioned. Now, as I have told that the forms, these are the forms generally required to file the patent application. Form 1 is essential for every mode of patent application. Form 1 is required for filing provisional, and also it is useful in filing complete specification. Form 1, Form 2. Form 2, in Form 2, you have to mention your title, the content of the specification, whatever we have discussed here, the whole content, that has to be mentioned in the Form 2. Okay, Form 3, if you are, you have to submit that information and undertaking regarding to foreign application. In that Form 3, you have to declare that where you have filed your application in any other foreign countries. If you have not filed, also you have to submit that I have not filed my application in any other foreign countries. Form 5 says that you have to declare your inventorship, that we are the inventors and we are going to file our application in the name of our applicants. 1 minute. Now, coming to the power of attorney, you also need Form 26 if you are filing your patent application through the patent agents, then Form 26 is required. Now, if you are claiming that you are a startup or a small entity or MSME, then you have to fill the Form 28 and provide the certificate of startup or MSME and submit it. These are required so that you can get 80% of your fees concession from the Government of India. Now, in my according to my suggestion, whenever any idea comes to you, you must go for protecting it as at the earliest as a provisional patent application, because filing provisional patent application secures the priority date. As Indian patent system is a fast to file patent system, so whoever files the application first is considered as the true and fast inventor. So as soon as your invention, which is feasible and having some inventive features in that, immediately write the description and other required elements of the patent application and immediately file the provisional application to secure the priority date. And after securing priority date, you can, after filing the provisional application, you can claim that your patent application is pending. And this patent application pending status in your product or service can act as a big marketing tool to promote your product or services in the market. Also, it gives an indication to the potential infringers that my patent application is already filed and it is in the pending stage. And if you are going to infringe my product or service, then I may file an infringement case against you to claim the damages. So this status is very, very important, and this can be mentioned in your product or service after filing your provisional application or complete application. Then filing after filing provisional application, you get 12 months time to prepare the complete specification. Complete specification is really a tough task, which has some claims to be written, which defines the boundary of the invention. The claims drafting really takes time, about 30 days or 15 days time to prepare the best claims. So not to waste time, you first file your provisional application. Thereafter, you have time to prepare your complete application. That government is giving you 12 months time for that. Also, preparing a provisional and filing a provisional application is less than 50% cost of the filing of your complete specification. So it is an advantageous, always advantageous that you should file your provisional application. Then thereafter you can convert it to a complete one, or you can prepare the complete application and file at the earliest within 12 months of time. Now coming to the next slide, which shows the comparison of Indian patent certificate and certificate that you are getting from other foreign countries. Example is given here is the United States patent application. This is just both are looking good, but the mode of information given here is much detailed because it gives a title, gives a representative drawing and the abstract of the innovation in the certificate itself. So by looking at the certificate, you can identify what is the invention. But here only the title of the innovation is there. And about inventor and the applicant, information is there. Here also you will get information about the inventor and applicants as well. And now coming to the next slide, that this is showing that comparison between how the front page of the granted patent looks like in India. This is the Indian context, and this is the US patent application. US is a very advanced patent office, and they are having a very advanced style of representing the information. They are mentioning everything here: patent number, date of patent, filing of date of the patent, inventors, assignee, who have examined the application, and who are the attorneys associated with, what is the classes, when provisional application filed, if any case government is delayed in examining or delaying the grant of the patent, then how many days are adjusted. So all these things are available here. But in the Indian patent application, you will not get all those details. So India is growing and Indian patent system is also growing. I hope someday they will also reach at this stage, so that any delay for patent granting may be also penalized on the patent office to extend the time period. Here you can say 1,734 days have been extended because of the delay by the examiner. So that in Indian context, that is being penalized on the inventor itself. Nothing, no date extension is being given because of the delay of the examiner. Now coming to the next aspect, what are the different types of applications that you can file to protect your innovation in Indian aspect? In Indian aspect, for national protection, you can file the ordinary application. Already mentioned that in ordinary application, you can file either provisional specification or complete specification. And in addition to this ordinary application, if in future you are improving your product or service and you are adding some improvement, then you can file a patent of addition. And if your innovation comprises 2 or more inventive concepts combined in a single application, then examiner will not allow it. Then the examiner will ask you to split the invention into 2 different forms, that is called as the divisional application. And for example, if you have a helmet innovation and inner layer of the helmet is protected as a biotechnological improvement and the outer layer is protected as a sensor related or electronical improvement to it. So both the innovation has to be filed as a different patent application, 2 different patent applications. Say same in the same application, both the features cannot be allowed to claim it. If you are interested to protect your innovation internationally, then you have 2 modes. That is the conventional way of protecting your innovation, and another way is protecting your innovation through PCT route. In conventional route, you have only time period of 12 months to file your international application in any countries you are interested with. But in the PCT route, you are having 31 months to enter into the national phase. National phase means if you're any other countries, for example, USA, Japan, China, like that. But in PCT, you have a single interface where they can prepare the translated document for you. And for conventional, you have to approach each and every country and every translator to translate your application in the respective languages. If you want to file your application in Japanese, then you need to consult a Japanese translator to translate your innovation into Japanese and file the application in the Japanese country, in Japan. Okay, if you are filing the same application through PCT route, PCT interface, you have to pay the fee of translation, but PCT interface can translate your application into Japanese, Chinese, German, or whatever you like, and you don't need to search for translator or communicator to file your application to any other countries. That's why this interface is very, very user friendly and giving also additional time, 31 months time for protecting or entering into any other foreign countries. Now, this is the most important thing. You know the protection. Now you must know what are the process of innovating. And first and foremost thing is that believe in yourself that you are going to identify any particular solution that is existing for a long period of time. Believe in yourself that you can do it. So after you ascertain that you are capable of solving the problem, then you can identify how many types of solutions are there to the particular problem. Identify different types of solution, map out your solution, and evaluate your solution by analyzing these 3 factors. What impact it is going to give in the market, and how much confidence the solution is giving to you that it is going to sustain for a longer period of time, and is going to penetrate into the market very quickly, and how easy it is to use and manufacture. After analyzing the ice effects, these the impact, confidence, and ease, then you will evaluate the best solution that can be your that can be the best solution for that existing problem, and that best solution you need to protect as an innovation. And before investing money on the prototype, you need to do a basic market search, that whether in Indian context it is acceptable, or in addition to India, whether it is acceptable in China or Africa or any other countries. So do a basic market search, how people are going to accept it. Then after that, build a prototype, test your idea, and perform a patent search. You can hire a professional or you can do it on your own, but I will suggest you should always hire a professional to conduct a professional patent search, and protect your innovation through taking an advice from the professional only. Because whatever you are inventing or whatever your product is, that is not going to be protected. Whatever you are writing in your application, that is going to be protected as your innovation. Even if you are not manufacturing your prototype with the by using any, for example, you are manufacturing a particular engine part where you have tested it by using mild steel as a material, and now while writing the patent application, you can mention that mild steel, stainless steel, any other more improved version of steel or platinum, anything can be used to manufacture my engine part. That can be protected as your innovation. So any form of modification to your innovation can be protected in that write-up. So better to choose a professional who can write with a vision of how to protect your innovation for a longer period of time, and how to commercialize your innovation in a better aspect, or taking the broadness of your innovation that is required. Now, if you are interested to manufacture your product, then license your product, then manufacture your product. Or if you are not having that much capability or infrastructure to manufacture a product, you can license your innovation to any other third party, and you can collect the royalty. The license can be exclusive license, non-exclusive license, like that. Now, you have always one aspect to design around and renovate, that is called as the evergreening of your business. Now, to always before filing or patent application, you need to identify that whether your innovation is novel or not. That novelty can be ascertained by the patentability or novelty search, which generally includes patent and non-patent literatures, which is available throughout the world. That can be done by TTC or any experienced patent attorney whom you trust. Similarly, if you do not have any innovation in your hand, but you still want to do marketing of a particular product or service which is in demand in the Indian context, then you can also conduct a freedom to operate search. You can identify whether any active patents are there in the Indian patent system who can stop you to do your business. If nobody is there to stop you, then you are free to operate that particular product or service in India. To identify those results, that no active patents are there or any active patents are there who are going to stop you, that search is called as the freedom to operate search. We at TTC also facilitate our innovators, our business, our entrepreneurs and business managers to conduct this type of patentability search, as well as freedom to operate search and any other search associated with the patent related protections, including other IP protections as well. Now, coming to the IP facilities at TTC, we give information for IP development. We also prepare this novelty search. We prepare provisional complete application drafting. We assist you in filing patent application, copyright, trademark, and design. we also prepare response to office action. Whatever examiner is object, we can prepare a response or remark to that objection, and we also attend hearing for you at Indian Patent Office. We can also conduct patent freedom to operate analysis. We can also conduct infringement analysis, landscape, white space, and other portfolio analysis. We also draft IP policy for any organization or any university or institute. And also we are planning to have an IP academy at KIT very soon. We have already formulated the IP academy concept document, and we are going to launch it soon. Now, if you have any queries, please let me know, or you can note down my contact details, and we are available at any time to answer your queries. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for this elaborate session. And due to the time constraint, we'll take up the questions offline. You can send your questions in the chat, or you have the email ID here and phone number. You can directly contact Ashutosh sir for your doubts and clarifications. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. It was wonderful to hear you.
Yeah, thank you, Ria.
Thank you so much, sir. So our next session, Srijana Hazarika, MBT 005, please send, do not send these messages in the chat, disrupts the agenda of the meeting. Moving ahead, I would like to inform all the participants that our next session that was supposed to be by Dr. Namrata Mishra, Head Bioinnovation, on the role of incubators and funding opportunities. She is unable to join due to some urgent meeting with the government of India. So her session will be delivered by Dr. Rajiv Kangabam, who is the manager of BRTC at KIT TBI. He will be elaborating on why we need an incubator and what are the funding opportunities for innovators as well as for startups. Dr. Rajiv has been driving BRTC and in Northeast extensively, and all this success is a major part from him. So thank you so much, sir, for joining. So you can start your presentation.
Thank you very much, Ria, for your welcome address, and a very good afternoon to all the people present for today's roadshow. I'd like to thank the Vice Chancellor of Assam Downtown University, sir, the CEO of Downtown Venture Capitalists, and all other faculty members who are working and helping us to organize this roadshow. A grand success. And with these few words of what I'm going to do is today, because there are lots of faculties and the students are here, and since the Vice Chancellor has already informed that we need to have a very right mindset in order to start the entrepreneurship journey, and funding is not an issue. So there are plenty of funding opportunities are there, and we are here to help and guide you. Even the CEO of Downtown Ventures has connect us to some of the probable people who are working in some of the very innovative ideas. And we are trying to help and identify where such kind of fundings can help to get it so that his or her entrepreneurship journey can be a successful. So with this, I'm going to start my talk on funding opportunities for Northeastern region. So before I start, I just want to share with you what is the startup ecosystem in India. So as we all know that India has the third largest startup ecosystem in the world, that in last 2019, there are about 50,000 startups has been launched in that year. So around 9,000 to 9,300 of these are technology-led startups. That is, 1,300 new tech startups were born in 2019 alone, implying that there are 2 to 3 tech startups born every day. But from 2020 and the current 2021 year, due to the COVID pandemic, this statistics is going to change. So there is a consistent annual growth rate of 12 to 15%. So the number of incubators and accelerators has grown to 11%. And it has been identified that Bangalore has been listed within the world 20 leading startup cities in 2019 Startup Genome Project ranking. So why we need to build a startup ecosystem in the Northeastern region? So as the Vice Chancellor sir has mentioned, that we have a huge potential. So as we all know that the Northeast has a huge bioresources. So we have two biodiversity hotspots, the Himalayan biodiversity hotspot and the Indo-Burma biodiversity hotspot. So we have a huge pool of resources, which if we utilize can provide employment and also improve the socioeconomic condition of the local people. And with the startup India, so and due to the recent COVID pandemic, lots of educated youths who are working in the rest of the other countries have to come back to their home, and they were without any employment opportunities. So what they can do is they can start thinking on some of the problems which they face today and start coming up with some innovative idea, which is a business and a societal problem. So as we all know that the central government under the leadership of under the leadership of Shri Narendra Modi is focusing on the bioeconomy of the country to enrich it. So by 2025, the government is looking to have a bioeconomy up to 5 trillion from these resources. And it has been identified that the Northeastern region is a hub to enhance the Indian bioeconomy. So there are lots of opportunities for you. So I am going to share you what are the fundings and other things. So why we need this startup is because we cannot depend on government alone to provide the employment. But we have another option because we have plenty of resources. So why can't we utilize the resources sustainably so that we can come up with some good idea which is very much relevant for the society as well as for the people, so that by utilizing the resources we can start earning the income as well as also provide opportunities. Also, we can support launch of new companies. So when you have the resources, you can also help support of other companies. For example, Northeast is a very huge resources of bamboo. So if you know that the agrabatis which we are using in most of the temples and in our homes are mostly manufactured in Karnataka and other southern states, but the stick which is used for making the agrabati is mostly exported from the Northeast region. So Tripura is one of the states which has exported the maximum number of sticks which is used in the manufacture of agrabati business. So like that, there are other lots of resources which we can also start utilizing and provide to the new companies. So it also fosters business collaboration. So when we have the resources, because people are looking for opportunities. For example, nowadays, the online online portal like Amazon, Flipkart, and Myntra and all those things. So due to the ban of the government on use of the plastic, they are changing the use of the packaging material to some paper-based. So since we have a huge resources of banana and other things, why can't people start a similar product so that it can be tied up with them, so that you can start exporting such packaging material so that it will be good for the region as well as it will be good for the environment. The other thing is the scalability of the business. So when we started a business, and if the people, your customers started liking your product, then you can increase your business. That when you increase the business, your income will be more, the number of people's employment will be increased, and it will help the regional economy of the state as well as of the region. And another important thing is when we started an entrepreneurship, it also provides us new job opportunities, because in Northeast, we have a pool of talented people who are well educated. So you can hire those people and also provide employment opportunities. And the last thing is boost the local economy, because when you started the business, other factors like the transportation chain managers also got also benefited. So it also boosts the local economy. So coming to the startup ecosystem, so startup ecosystem is not a single entity. It involves other partners, channel partners, like the support of the government, the funding organization, large companies, the support organization, service providers, like if you are manufacturing, from where you're going to get the raw resources, how the transportation will be done and all those things. Then the research organization, because whenever we are going to do any of the startup, we need some scientific validation to prove that whatever we're going to do will be a successful. So you need to tie up with R&D institutes. So for downtown ventures, you have the Assam downtown universities where you can carry out your preliminary R&D work in order to have a successful startup. So coming to the funding opportunities, there is our CEO also mentioned, and the Vice Chancellor also mentioned that the various agencies in the central governments are ready to provide funding opportunities for anyone who is coming up with innovative idea with societal and business potential. So when you step your foot into the entrepreneurship ecosystem, funding is not a problem, but your mindset and your approach should be a good one. So we have the funding from DST, that is Department of Science and Technology, that NIDI EIF, the Guwahati Award, the Panikhaiti Biotechnology Mission Grant, the MSME BI, DST NIDI prayers, and the multi-disciplinary EIR scheme. So these fundings I'll be sharing in details in my later slides. So as I have mentioned, so once you started your foot on the entrepreneurship journey, so starting from your ideation, you have different funding opportunities. So now you have an idea. So you want to prove your idea if it will be working or not. So we have the SIP fund, that is a social innovation and immersion program. Then we have the DSCER, that is entrepreneurs at residence. So once you have completed your ideation, so you want to check into a proof of concept if the idea of which I'm having can be feasible or not. Then at the proof of concept stage, we have the biotechnology mission grant, of which the 19th call is currently going on. Then we have the Ministry of Small Medium Enterprise. Then we have the prayers, that is promoting and accelerating young and aspiring technology entrepreneurs. So these are some of the grants which you can get it during your proof of concept. So from proof of concept, if you want to jump into the prototype stage, that is to check the feasibility of the product or the device which you're coming out. So we have the Department of Science and Technology, then we have the Technology Development Board, then we have the National Science and Technology Entrepreneurship Development Board, and we have the NIDI scheme, then we have the TIDE, that is Technology Incubation and Development of Entrepreneurship, and we have the MITI scheme, that is Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. So from the prototype, so once you are successful in your prototype, so you might be thinking, so from prototype, if I want to go for the testing or scale up or commercialization, where I'll get the funding. So in your commercialization stage, we have the angel investors, then we have the SIBRI grant, then the BIP grant, that is Biotechnology Industry Partnership Program. We have the venture capitalists, then we have the CSRs and other things. So if you look at each and every steps of your entrepreneurship journey, you will find that there are lots of organizations, including the government and the private, who are ready to support you during your entrepreneurship journey. So coming to the source of funds for steady inflow of tech-driven startups. So for students, because today lots of students are joining, so if you have some innovation idea and if you want to study that one, we have the SIP Fellowship of BIREC, which will provide you 50,000 per month with 5 lakh kickstart grant for the next of 18 months. So this 50,000 is much more than the normal PhD scholar used to get during their PhD journey. So you can start looking for the opportunities. Then we have the NIDI EIR, that is Entrepreneurs Residence Fellowship, which will be providing you 30,000 per month for the next of 12 months. Then we have the TIDE 2.0 fellowships, 30,000 per month for 12 months. And for prototyping and proof of concept, as I mentioned, we have the NIDI prayers, that is 10 lakhs, then the TIDE grant, 7 lakhs, MSME BI, 15 lakhs, then the Biotechnology Mission grant, the 50 lakhs, the DSC KWAS, that is a scheme for COVID, and the SET. Then from prototyping to the seed, that is equity or the LIP fund, we have the BIREC seed, LIP funds, NSTE, DB seed fund, TDB seed fund, TIDE seed fund, and NIDI seed fund. And for TIDE 2.0 scheme, there is a provision of investment to the tune of rupees 40 lakhs per startup. That is for the products which are market-ready startup. And if you're working in the field which is very much in need for the defense, like the Army, Navy, and the Air Force, we have the IDEX fund, then we have the public sector undertaking from the Indian Oil Corporation and the Bharat Petroleum Corporation. Then we have the Social Innovation Fund and the fund of DFID and Technology Development Fund, And each of the state, now they have the startup funds like the Startup Assam, and even the district mineral fund is also there. So if you contact the district collectors, then they can also provide you some of the funds, which we at KIT-TBI is also working with some of our startups in getting some of the fundings from the district mineral fund in the state of Odisha. So coming to the first, that is the BIREC program is a social innovation fellowship, is a flagship program of the BIREC Government of India and to address the problem of societal relevance. So this particular fund is provided for those individuals who are coming with some societal problems, that in order to study the societal issues, or they're trying to find some solution to the societal problem. So if you ask me what is the eligibility, so any graduate students or students who are in the final year of graduation, they can apply. So what is the benefit of a SHIP fellow? Supports from facilities and mentors to individual SHIP fellows, hand-holding and mentoring related to the IP and business, because as just now, Mr. Asutosh Nanda, who is the head of Technology Enabling Center, is sharing the information why we need to attend our technology so that we can start having the monopoly for the next 20 years. So because these are some of the things which even the faculty members and the students are lacking the knowledge, and the Vice Chancellor has promptly pointed out that most of the IP which we have in India are mostly filed by those Indians who are working outside the country. So we have the facility. So we will be helping and providing you that how your project can be filed a patent. Then, and fellow on funding, office space and lab space, participation in any of the program organized by KIT-TBI, Technology Business Incubator. Then we have the next, that is the Biotechnology Innovation Grant, which is one of the most popular grant for an individual starting from their ideation into a proof of concept. So the Biotechnology Innovation Grant was started in 2012, supports innovation idea to establish proof of concept. So an individual as well as the faculty members and a startup which is less than 5 years of age can apply for this grant. And the grant is providing up to rupees 50 lakhs for the next 18 months, and it is implemented by 18 BIG partners. So KIT-TBI also become a BIG partner in the year 2014, and we are working hard in the East and Northeast region, focus with a focus on the individual entrepreneurs, faculty members, also to get the BIG grant. So for the current BIG Call 19, the call is out. These are some of the themes like the healthcare and life science, agriculture and allied area. The CEO was mentioning about some of these startups. So they can also start applying in the area of agriculture and allied areas, medtech, device and diagnostics, veterinary science, industrial biotechnology, waste management and sanitation, drug vaccines and drug delivery, clean energy and environment. So if we are going to start a number of grant writing workshops in order to have a successful applicant. So if anyone who is present today, if they are very much interested, please do reach out to the CEO of venture capitalist so that we can connect and we can help and guide you for submission of successful entrepreneurs. And the last date for the submission is the 15th of September. So it has a window period of 45 days and everything is going to be submitted online. So we'll be discussing that one in details later on when we organize the grant writing workshop. So the next one is the student innovations for advancements of research exploration, or in short, we call it a SITARE. The mandate is to promote and encourage young students for embracing translational research, to provide an opportunity for orientation, training, and mentoring through residential workshop. So there are two components of SITARE. One is the SITARE Gandhian Young Technological Innovation Award Grant, that is SITARE Guwahati, which used to provide 15 awards up to a tune of rupees 15 lakh. This is mostly meant for postgraduate and doctoral students to undertake projects with commercial potential leading to creation of biotech startup. And the SITARE Appreciation Grant is residential workshop called B's for UG students, 3 workshops per year for 40 to 50 students of 3 to 4 weeks each. 10 students per workshop will be provided a grant support to the tune of 1 lakh and to encourage their inquisitiveness and sustained effort. So next we have the EUVA, that is empowering youth for undertaking value-added innovative translational research. the mandate of EUBA is to promote a culture of applied research and need-oriented, that is societal or industry entrepreneurship innovation among young students and researchers. So through this grant, we are trying to bring the students which are just undergraduate, postgraduate, and researchers to focus their mindset from hardcore research into innovation or entrepreneurship-oriented research approach, and provides funding support through fellowship or research grant, technical and business mentoring, exposure to bio-incubation models, orientation to entrepreneurial cultures, etc. So what are the categories for the fellowship? We have the BIRAC Innovation Fellow, that is for PGs and above, and the BIRAC EUBA Fellowship for UG students. So EUBA centers, even downtown, some downtown, they can also become the EUBA centers. They can offer pre-incubation space, manage fellowships for students, conduct entrepreneurial awareness workshop for the students. So what are the eligibility for EY centers? So University Institute establishes a legal entity under the relevant law of India, having at least 51% of Indian stakeholders. The University Institute could be a public, central, state, or private one. It should have a department in life science stream. And as of the applicant, University Institute should be at least 3 years or more, which I think Assam Downtown University is more than qualified to apply for the EY centers. Then we have from the Department of Science and Technology, we have the DST NIDI PRIAS, that is National Initiative for Developing and Harnessing Innovation. It's an umbrella program conceived and developed by the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Division, Department of Science and Technology, for nurturing ideas and innovation that is knowledge-based and technology-driven into a successful startup. So the focus area are manufacturing, agriculture, healthcare, clean tech, energy, water, and IoT. And any graduate can apply for this one. Then we have the NIDI EIA Fellowship, that is Entrepreneurs at Residence. It's a program, is one of the programs introduced under NIDI to inspire the best talents to be entrepreneurs, to maximize the risks involved in pursuing startups and partially set off their opportunity cost of high-paying jobs. So for this one also, the minimum qualification is any graduate or students who are in the final year, and the benefits of EIA Fellows is almost same, which I have mentioned earlier. Then we have the MITI-TIDE, that is Technology Incubation and Development Entrepreneurship. It's a scheme for strengthening close to 2,000 technology startups in selected area of national concern by leveraging emerging technologies and empowering financial support in the form of entrepreneurs at residence, grants and investments to be provided to the startup. And these are some of the areas like the digital health, precision agriculture, financial transaction, security, clean and green environment, then clean energy solution, advanced communication technology. And this is the recent call which we have for that one. And as I mentioned, for those who are working in areas related with defense, there is a separate call known as Innovation for Defense Excellence. So anyone who is working, because the funding is very huge for these people. So if you are working, or if you are going to start, think of this IDEX program also, which will be very useful for you. And I have shared the link also for the IDEX program if any one of you wants to know details about that one. Then we have the MSME BI scheme, that is inviting business idea for New India. So they are also providing assistance up to 15 lakhs. So for this MSME grant, there are two grants. One is for the entrepreneurs, others is for the incubators. So Downtown Ventures also can apply and for the MSME BI scheme also. Then we have the Ambika Social Innovation Incubation Mission, that is especially this grant is for the scheduled caste community. So they are going to support 1,000 innovative ideas till the year 2024. And those who are part of this Ambika Social Innovation, they'll be given a grant of rupees 30 lakhs in order to translate their entrepreneurship journey. So any scheduled caste population, if you know anyone, please share this information so that they can start applying. Then we have the Startup India Seed Fund Scheme. So this Seed Fund Scheme is also provided for the startup as well as for the incubators. So anyone who is very much interested, due to the shortage of time, I'm not sharing you in details, so you can apply for this. So coming to some of the Northeast specific, because whatever right now what I have shared is all the funding which is for pan India, but since Northeast is somewhat due to the geographical location, there is always a special provision for the people of the Northeast whenever we do anything. So there are some of the fundings for the people of the Northeast. That is, we came to know that whatever the application through the biotechnology mission grant, the number of applicant is very small in number. So we requested BIREC if we can have a separate call for the biotechnology mission grant, and BIREC were very helpful. So last year we have the biotechnology ignition grant for any year. So this is a call which we have for only for the Northeast, and we have got 110 proposals, and 62 met into the preliminary screening committee, and out of 62, 44 met into the technical expert panel, and the best 10 were provided with 25 lakhs for the next of 24 months. And if you see the statistics, so Assam has the highest number of applicants we received for the biotechnology ignition grant for the Northeast. So these are 10 of the people who have been selected for the biotechnology ignition grant. So why I'm focusing on these people is these are also an ordinary people. Some are faculty members, some are research fellows, and some are entrepreneurs. So how they are coming up, they are trying to utilize the available resources and to find some solution to the problem. So few of them I'm just going to share with you. So Dr. Lipi B. Mahanta, the Vice Chancellor sir might be knowing, she's an faculty member at IST Guwahati, and she's also an entrepreneur. So how she's coming up with an idea is because we all know that cervical cancer is one of the major leading cause of death throughout the world and in India. So she's trying to develop a software where using that software, how they can do is they can identify the status of the cervical cancer. So she has already collaborated with some of the major hospitals in Assam as well as in Manipur to get the biopsy of the pap smear or some of the relevant data, so that that can be incorporated in the software, and she can come up with a particular software. So that will be very beneficial for those people who are affected with cervical cancer. The second one is Dr. Laishan. He was working as a project scientist at IIT Guwahati, but recently he has joined to Rajiv Gandhi Biotechnology Institute at Trivandrum. So as we all know that the Northeast people, especially Assam and Manipur, are very fond of fish, but the fish which we are producing in our state is not sufficient to meet the local demand. So we used to import fish from Andhra and from West Bengal, but the problem is because during the transportation, they used to put some formaldehyde in order to retain the tenderness of the fish and to retain the freshness of the fish. But the problem is whenever we are going to consume the fish which has been already been mixed with formaldehyde, it is very toxic. And if you keep on consuming that fish, then there will be some bioaccumulation of the formaldehyde and it will have severe health issues. And even the state government of Assam has banned the import of the fish for last year for a particular duration to avoid such fish from importing. So this Dr. Laishan, what he's coming in with a paper strip, based like just a pH meter. So when the strip touches on the fish tissue, it will change the color intensity. So based on the change of the color intensity, you can identify if this particular fish is fit for consumption or not. Then we have Miss Melinda Nongbat, who is one of the research scholars from Nehu, Shillong. So as we all know that the adult diaper which we are using in Northeast are mostly imported from the rest of the country, and the price of these adult diapers are very costly, and most of the people in Northeast are not able to purchase that one, even though it is required for our adult adult population. So this Melinda, she is coming up with an idea of why can't the banana fiber, which is available in plenty throughout the Northeast, can be used in order to build, in order to manufacture the biodegradable adult diaper. So this is how she is trying to build or develop an adult diaper using the fiber of bamboo. Then we have Dr. Prasudha Datta, who is from CSNS. So Dr. Prasudha completed her PhD on some edible insects. And as we all know that Assam is very famous for the silk industry. So the cocoon of the silk, Muga silk, once the silk has been extracted, the cocoon was thrown as a waste. But if you see that the cocoon has a huge nutrient potential, huge protein composition and all those things. So he is coming up with an idea, why can't this cocoon can be converted into some powder form and can be utilized as a health supplement or something like that. So that is how Dr. Prasudha is coming forward with an idea. So that is waste to wealth. So you have the muga silk as well as the coconut is going to use as a health supplement. And finally, Dr. K. Sanjay Banerjee, who is also a faculty member at NIPER and also started his own entrepreneurship. So what was his idea is in Northeast, the wild varieties of banana is plentifully available in all the Northeast India. But the problem with the wild banana, even though it is highly nutritious, the presence of the seed makes the people not interested to purchase this banana. So what Dr. Banerjee is coming up, he is trying to remove the seed which is present in the banana pulp and trying to make a powder out of that one and use as a baby supplementary food or something like that. So other people are also working, like the Dr. Sudarshan Gogoi, he is working on Plasmodium, that Falciparum, Mr. Neopal Barrow, he's working on for amputulate legs, and Gita Siri Yunam is working on some probiotics for the health, and Dr. Dispur was and Panskim, this one, Bokshwe. So these are all like you and me who have different knowledge, but what they're doing is they saw the problem, which is very much relevant in the Northeast. And they try to come up with a solution by using the local resources, which is available with some of the fundings under the BIREX scheme. So if these 10 people can come up with such kind of solution, which is very much relevant to our region, why can't people which is attending, the faculty members as well as the students who are listening to my talk can also come up to try to solve some of the problems which is very relevant in Northeast India and come up by utilizing the resources. I'll just give you one example, that Northeast is a huge seismic area zone. So anytime earthquake is very prone, and all the Northeast states is mostly in the hilly terrain, and it's very difficult whenever there is a landslide or earthquake used to happen for this disaster team to reach out to the place within a particular time. So why can't we have this one bed or something like that, that which can provide oxygen and the foodstuff for next 3 days if all of a sudden there is an earthquake or something like happen. So these are some of the things, idea which you can think over, because, and another thing is that in Assam and Northeast, every year there is a flood through the Brahmaputra and its other major tributaries. So during the flood, lots of people got affected. So how we can avoid the people? Yeah, flood will be a problem throughout every year, but how can we mitigate the local peoples who are suffering from the flood during the flood time? How we can provide the food and other things. So these are lots of problems is here in the Northeast. I'm just sharing one or two, but you can having more than thousands of problems, which we can also try to come up within by utilizing some of the resources given by the different funding organizations. So this is another fund which is given by NetFi, that is Northeast Development Finance Corporation, for anyone who is interested to start the entrepreneurship journey. So the project funding is starting from 50 lakhs up to the tune of 200 lakhs. So if anyone is interested for large scale funding for their business, you can contact this NetFi. Then the other thing is the Northeast Venture Capital Fund, which is anchored by Ministry of Development of Northeastern Region, that is donor, and NetFi Northeastern Development Finance Corporation. So the investment size is starting from 25 lakhs, you can get up to 10 crores, which is a huge amount of investment. So if anyone is interested, you can go through the NetFi Venture Capital Limited website And another one is Northeast Center for Technology Application and Risk, which is under the Department of Science and Technology. And for those of you who are trying to work in these sectors like the bamboo, geospatial, water and flood, communication, agriculture, and food processing and livelihood project. So the Vice Chancellor and the CEO is mentioning about agri and food processing. So you can also get some of the fundings from the Nectar, which is especially for the Northeast. And we have the state-wise startup policies like the Assam startup, then the Arunachal startup, Manipur, and all those things, which is providing the ideation into a
Recording in progress. Recording stopped. Recording in progress. Recording in progress. Recording in progress. Recording in progress.